wrestling fans. This is Bob Hines at ringside with world champion Lou Thesz, who is also the matchmaker for the UWA, and we welcome you to our wrestling. How you doing, champ?
Real good, thank you. Very happy to have you with us again, Bob.
Listen, you kidded me about getting back in the ring with those guys because I'd gone out the armory once and done a little of this work, and then I'd been in the ring one time before. You realize I can't even get up and down those stairs without twisting an ankle?
Well, that happens on occasion. I've seen fellas try to vault over the rope and fall on their face. You know, anything can happen.
Listen, that's why I put the mic on the lower rung, and then it gives me no temptation whatsoever to go up and over. You've got some exciting bouts today. I know you're going to talk about a couple of them as I head up into the ring to announce them, but you've got the gals here, and I have not seen the girls wrestle in any of the matches I've introduced with you, champ.
Well, I've got a beautiful girl here today. Her name is Debbie Doll, and she is a doll. And she's wrestling a gal by the name of the Bicentennial Queen. Everybody's on a bicentennial kick, but she looks like it, and let's take a look at her after a while and see what she is.
Okay, look forward to it. If you'll give the folks a little rundown on some of the things we'll see. We'll ring the bell 3 times. That'll get the wrestlers ready for this very first match, and we'll get up there and introduce them. Lou?
Thank you, Bob. Bob Hines getting ready to enter the ring. Here comes Jack Graham and a fantastic wrestler on the other side by the name of Luis Arriba Martinez, one of the finest athletes in the world today. A great, great wrestler. Bob Hines will announce.
Hey, Lou, thank you very much. From the center of the ring now, let's start our introductions. Once in a while, we forget the fellas that work very hard, and they are down on the floor. They're up and over the wrestlers. They're everywhere watching to make sure everything is done just as it should be, and their eyes can't be everywhere. The referee for our first match this evening, B.J. McElwee. Where is he? B.J., right over here. Now, quite often we see these men as members of tag teams. They will be fighting on their own. First of all, without his brother, originally from Tampa, Florida, now making his home in Memphis, Tennessee at 240 pounds, Jack Graham. At 230 pounds from Mexico City, Luis Arriba Martinez, right over here. 10 minutes, 1 fall with a 10-minute time limit, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go, champ.
Thank you, Bob. Well, this Troy Graham, as I said before, is going to have a very active evening, or active day. Maybe it'll be an active week for him, because when Luis Arriba Martinez gets through with some of them, well, he could put them on the shelf. And Louis will illustrate his great wrestling ability pretty soon. Beautiful arm drag takedown. Louis yells Arriba, that means up in Spanish, he told me. Beautiful go behind. Another go behind by Louis, and again an arm drag takedown. And Louis is hard to hold. Headlock.
That first minute or so, you notice that Jack Graham was moving very cautiously around our man, Arriba.
That was good judgment, Bob.
Sure was. Up and over, and he bangs his head. He doesn't look too happy, and Luis is right there to grab him.
Louis is a tricky one. Side headlock. Uses it well, puts the weight of the body on there, on the chest. That takes the steam out of him by degrees, little by little, while you pull the cork that way. Wear the man out. The close contact, nailing a man down, really tires one. Graham attempting to get out. And he did.
He's got a chokehold there.
Yes, he has.
BJ saw it and is starting his count. He doesn't want to let go, and he goes right back to it.
And BJ's right on top of it. It looks like a strangle, however it isn't. I think there's a little daylight under there somewhere. Again, an arm drag.
That's a great way to break that hold.
Hammerlock. Oh, step over. Beautiful.
We quiet down here at ringside every now and then because we attempt to hear the wrestlers, because on occasion they'll start giving instructions to the BJ, the referee in this case.
I like to have the people watch the matches and not. I don't want to talk them to death. I want them to really see what the wrestling is all about and remark about any particular hold that has some finesse or some real quality to it. Good go behind. Beautiful.
Great takedown. And right on him.
That's a modified step over. Very, very punishing. Surfboard. Oh, boy.
We're at the 3-minute spot on a 10-minute time limit on this particular match.
Louis has Jack Graham pretty well disarmed at this point.
Reaching behind him, looking for something, grasping for anything to get out of that very painful hold.
Beautiful hold.
He's going for the ropes.
I think that's a wise choice.
Yeah, wiggling his way across. Hanging on.
I've mentioned this before many times, Bob, but in many, many countries, why going for the ropes is not a bad thing to do. And in fact, many people think that if you don't go for the rope when it's possible to reach a rope, you're very foolish not to do it.
Oh, and he has got Louis out of there.
Louis out of the ring. And Jack Graham is very aggressive at times. Louis is hurting. He kicked him pretty good.
Okay, every time Louis heads for those stairs to get back up in there or up to the mats to try and get back in, Jack is right on him with another kick. The only advantage is that the count restarts.
Louis is trying to get back in.
Oh, and he's got him. He's going to pull him out.
Oh, Louis really nailed him.
And a head slam on the side of the ring.
That Louis doesn't shy away from any violence. He's in there all the way. They want it rough. That's the way he handles it.
Now you see Louis heads back up in. Now the count will be starting, or should be, in just a moment. Oh, he's got him back in there. He helped him out a little bit. That was very kind of him.
He certainly did, Bob. Arriba is right. Oh. Boston Crab. Boston Crab. Very, very punishing hold. That's a concession hold.
There we go.
That really takes care of the back, the legs. The sacroiliac really gets offended at that point. It's a concession hold. And back to Bob Hines.
At the 5-minute mark, 5 minutes on a 10-minute fall, the winner, Louis Arriba Martinez. Louis Arriba Martinez. Okay, and we'll be right back with you here for the second match on this particular event after these words.
Okay, here come the Islanders. Beautiful, colorful people from Pago Pago, Samoa, American Samoa, managed by their very able manager, gentleman Saul Weingeroff. Has a very aggressive team to combat with Troy Graham from Tampa, Florida, and the Cuban Assassin. These fellas should do very well for themselves. Take it away, Bob.
Okay, champ, let's meet the fellas and the tag teams that are going to be meeting each other in the ring. First of all, under the tutelage of manager, gentleman Saul Weingeroff, who is right here, ladies and gentlemen, like to meet two super wrestlers, combined weight of well over 600 pounds, from Pago Pago, Samoa, the Islanders, right here. And their challengers. First of all, the Cuban Assassin #1 at 230 pounds from Cuba. And originally from Florida, now from Memphis, Tennessee, 260 pounds, Troy Graham, right there with the beanie on. 1 fall, 15 minutes on the tag event.
Well, Saul Weingeroff must have scoured the world to discover these beautiful, colorful Islanders. They're great athletes, and I'm really looking forward to this match. The Cuban Assassin, I saw wrestle last week. He's very, very aggressive. I was really pleased with his performance. Great wrestler. Bob, this should be a great match. I saw this Cuban Assassin wrestle last week, and also Troy Graham did very, very well. They should give the Islanders a pretty good battle.
Alpha starting out, of course, for the...
He brought him over that easily. You know, that Troy Graham weighs about 250.
But both the Islanders are well over 300 pounds, just solid. And I mean, when we say they are 300 pounds, that's not flab, ladies and gentlemen. They are solid.
I saw them in the ring, Bob, and they pushed that 500-pound iron just like nothing. But that's what UWA is. We try to bring athletes and wrestling to the people that purchase the tickets. I insist upon the fellas having wrestling ability, a background of wrestling, and they must stay in condition.
Yes, we should mention that all of the people in our audience here for UWA Wrestling from the television studios are invited guests of UWA. They do purchase tickets and go to the armories, the high schools, the arenas in and around Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and in Alabama, and any place the wrestling events are held, and they are invited to come here and watch the matches absolutely free from the television studios and enjoy doing same.
You know, Bob, I see some familiar faces here because every Tuesday night at the National Guard Armory here in Nashville, a lot of our fans that come to the studio wrestling here come to the matches each week.
The tremendous power of Seigler was just shown there as he didn't just throw the Cuban. He picked him literally right off the ground and straight up over his shoulder. And down he went with a terrible thud. Watch him, this power.
Fantastic.
An exercise in futility for the Cuban. Takes 2 elbows and he's gone. And did a wise thing. He tagged Graham.
I think I joined him. Beautiful go behind and takedown.
He's got the rope, so that got him out of trouble. Or he could have been a man with serious problems right there. BJ charging him again.
And the hair.
We're at the 3-minute mark of this match, scheduled for 15 minutes. Little pressure on the hand.
Oh, wow. He was 7 feet in the air at least. Maybe more, 8 maybe. That Seigler's a big one. He's about 6'3". Saul Weingeroff really watches his men. He's coached them beautifully. They are really great athletes. That Cuban Assassin doesn't want any part of this.
No, he belted him 3-4 times and he didn't move a muscle. And now he's butting him in the chest.
Wow. Well, that Cuban Assassin's doing some catching at this point. Oh, boy.
Oh, and he's double teamed. He goes over to bounce
Seigler
off those
grabbed
ropes
him.
once again, and Seigler gets him. And off the apron goes Seigler, and back comes the Cuban. Tried to do it again. This time Seigler reached out his arms, grabbed him from the ankles, and down he went.
Calling for a partner. And there they go. They bumped their heads.
That's smart. Okay, he's thrown.
Out of the ring for Troy Graham. 1, 2,
Graham.
3. I can see the Cuban
And there's the
assassin has
fall.
been defeated.
Okay.
What beautiful teamwork. These people work in unison just like a clock. A well-oiled machine, and gentleman Saul Weingeroff really deserves congratulations in coaching these people as beautifully as he has.
And once again, under the tutelage of gentleman Saul Weingeroff, though from Pago Pago, Samoa, the Islanders have done it again. And the time, 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Okay, we've got a couple of others. We'll see if we can get some others. We've got some gals planning up here in just a couple of moments, and I don't know if you've had a chance to see or an opportunity to see those gals battle it out, but they're going to be doing it in just a little while. In a moment, we'll be meeting Mike Boyette and Black Eagle, but right now, let's take a time out for these words. We'll be right back with you from UWA Wrestling. Are you going to get a word in here? Can you get a word with these
I'd like
fellas?
to talk with
Okay,
Saul
before we
just a
go,
moment,
let's
if
do
I
this.
may,
Okay,
please.
gentleman Saul is headed over there to Lou.
Sal, congratulations. You're about ready to go to post, baby.
Lou, I'm happy one thing. I just found out that you're going to referee the boxing match.
Well, I'm going to attempt to. I'm going to see if the Athletic Commission will permit me to.
Well, I know all my friends out here and all over, they want you to referee that boxing match because we know you'll call it as you see it. So I'm very happy about it, Lou, and thanks very much. And I'm ready for the fight and ready to go ahead with it. I predict I'll knock him out before the 5th round.
Well, I hope that you will. I know that you have a score to settle. He's tried to cripple you in many ways, and I'll be there to see it if I referee or not. And thank you very much, gentlemen.
I'm going to use Cassius Clay as the rope-a-dope.
Islanders, you're beautiful. You did a great job, fellas. Great job. Yeah. Yes, and after this, ladies and gentlemen. And now to Bob Hines for the ring action in the ring. Take it over, Bob.
Okay, thank you very much again, champ. And here we go with the third match for this particular series we have going right now. And first of all, hardworking referee over here, Wendell Burchett. Let's hear a nice round of applause. These guys work very hard. Wendell Burchett right there. Okay, meeting here in one fall, 10-minute time limit at 230 pounds. In this corner, Black Eagle. And at 235 pounds, from Hollywood, California, beautiful Mike Boyette. Boyette. One fall, 15 minutes.
Well, that Mike Boyette has a wardrobe that I think even Paramount Studios would be envious of. Every time I see the fellow wrestle, he has a new garb, has a new headdress, or some new patches on his denims, and that doesn't affect his ability, however, because he's a karate expert and makes a good account of himself, does a lot of winning.
I didn't hear all of your comments, champ, as I walked over here, but Black Eagle was very impressive last week. Has great strength. Does a little bit of a dance every now and then. There he goes now. A little bit of a, I don't think it's a rain dance because it hasn't rained here yet. But
Well, he does that Indian thing. I guess they get steeped in that over the centuries, and they just like to do their thing.
well, not and whatever it is, it's psyching Boyette out a little bit because Boyette was again complaining. Not a blow was landed there while the dance was going on, but he didn't like it. He felt possibly there was a little bit of voodoo or something pulled on him, and he didn't need that type of action. He figures just straight wrestling, he's got all he can do.
I agree. I think I would feel the same way if I were in there with a fellow doing a dance like that. Be apprehensive about it. You must be.
It looks like Black Eagle is trying to demonstrate, was just a moment ago, demonstrate to Wendell, the referee, just exactly how he took him down. I thought for a minute he was going to throw Wendell.
Well, I don't think that would be a wise thing, because with UWA wrestling, the wrestlers are not permitted to molest the referee in any way, push him, or even argue with him excessively. We don't approve of it, and if they do push them or get into anything physical with them, they're disqualified immediately. And if they continue to do it, they'll be suspended, and we don't want people like that. The referee is the official. He is the boss in there.
Boyette is screaming again that his hair was pulled. The crowd is riding on Boyette and Black Eagle a little bit. Black Eagle says, I don't pull anybody's hair. At any rate, the real reason for getting out of that was because Boyette managed to get his legs around the ring ropes.
Well, Boyette is blaming Black Eagle for pulling the hair, and that seems to be the thing that he does. But he's very clever. He hides it from the referee.
A little like a ventriloquist. Get the referee's attention going someplace else, and while he's looking there, pull him down.
He's very good at that.
Maybe he's concerned that his coiffure will be messed up a little bit.
That would
I
be a
don't think so,
disaster,
yes. And we're at the 3-minute mark of this match. Black Eagle's getting a little upset now. He doesn't like that at all. Boyette covers up in the corner. I think we can say he covered up. Puts his hand at his hip, and he strolls off down the lane.
Well, in the past, we've had some good Indian athletes.
Boyette made a good move then. Black Eagle was coming for him, and just as he arrived there, ready to go into an armhole, down he popped and pulled his legs out from underneath him.
That's a wild-looking man, isn't he?
Even with a close-up, you can't get a good look at Mike Boyette. He's got so much hair down over his face between that beard and what comes off his hair. Yeah, speaking of hair.
Yes. Wow, leg trip, beautifully done. A good move. One of the things one must do as a wrestler is try to catch them coming in off balance so they cannot stop, and then you can mousetrap them into something like Black Eagle just got Boyette.
Well, he made two good moves before that by getting out of the way of an off-the-rope charge. Managed to duck down, and then the second time catch him when he bounced off the rope. So Boyette is down. And making a lot of noise, I might add.
I don't think he ever stops that. Every time I've been around him, he has that deep guttural thing, and he just keeps yelling, and I don't quite understand him most of the time. That's a punishing thing. That's a modified step over.
Okay, Black Eagle is really getting the crowd on his side. He's asking, what'll I do now? And those folks out there in the audience, hurt him, hurt him.
Yes. Well, there's no question about the popularity of Black Eagle over Boyette. And he got Black Eagle's hair, Boyette did, and he's working him over now.
Breaks. Oh.
Boyette is tough. He can do some catching.
A headbutt, elbows, to the throat, to the throat. Boyette goes down. For the counter two. And off he goes. Black Eagle made the mistake of stopping to...
A beautiful move.
Hey, Mike Boyette.
That's what wrestling is all about. That was a Greco-Roman backdrop, a supple. Very beautifully executed. It's actually Greco-Roman wrestling. We must admit, he is an athlete.
At the 6-minute mark, 6 minutes, 15-minute, over here, beautiful Mike Boyette has been declared the winner.
Well, we must admit.
Okay, we seem to have a little discussion going on up here. Take it over at ringside, champ.
Mike. Mike, you wrestled in an unorthodox way, but that was a beautiful Greco-Roman backdrop. That supple was beautiful. I must compliment you.
Right. That is real wrestling. Like I am a true wrestler, and I won my match fair and square out there. You saw that, didn't I not? I won it legally. The hold I used was legal. It's a great hold, and I used a great hold. I am the best, and I did it. Okay. I did it right there. Me, I did it.
Well, Bob, we must admit that he is an athlete, and that was a great hold. He did use some unorthodox, illegal things during the match, and he finally came up with the...
Continuing with discussion up there with Black Eagle, I'd like to get Black Eagle over here for a minute or so. He seems to feel that something was not just as kosher as it should be, champ. Let's get him over here for a second if we can. We got him in a Black Eagle. Get Black Eagle over here if we can. Okay, it looks like he's leaving. He's a little disgusted with the... whatever the hold was. I took off and started charge. What do you call that?
That's
Jim?
a Greco-Roman backdrop or a Greco-Roman supple. It can be called either thing, a great hold, and it's used in Greco-Roman wrestling in the Olympics. As I said, Boyette is a karate champion. Mm-hmm. He knows his wrestling very, very well, very competitive, and it was a long hair, beautiful wrestling hold that was executed well.
It was there when he needed it.
That's right.
What wrestling's all about, to know where to find those holes when you really need it, okay?
Lou Thesz here, ladies and gentlemen. I have a fantastic new wrestling personality with me. Her name is Big Tussie, very, very powerful, very aggressive, and I think she would be a great addition to the wrestling profession. And Saul Weingeroff, Gentleman Saul Weingeroff, is going to be her manager and train her. Welcome aboard, Tussie.
Thank you.
Tussie, I want you to be aggressive. I don't want you to be shy, just like you always do outside. See? Now, Lou Thesz is the former heavyweight champion of the world, and someday, I don't know, you're going to be up in that same category. You know, Lou, this is the greatest discovery I believe I've had. You know, I've managed a lot of great wrestlers. You know, Tussie, she has the strength of 4 men. Actually, we had her in the gym, the Islanders and myself, and this woman bench pressed. Tell them how much you bench pressed.
450-pound weight lift.
Well, that's fantastic. Sometimes it takes fellas 10 or 15 years to approach that perimeter. Now, I understand you're very, very strong, and you certainly appear to be, and it would be very interesting to me to have you wrestle some of the girl wrestlers that think that they wrestle very, very well, and I think you would do very well. As strong as you are, I think you would be very difficult to cope with.
No, I want to wrestle the men.
You want to wrestle the men?
Yes.
I see. Well, I don't know if that would be permitted, but I would sure try to arrange it, because as strong as you are, pressing 450 on the bench, why, I'm sure you could take very good account of yourself.
Well, not only that, she wants to box too. Isn't that right, Tessie?
Yes.
Well, that would be your bailiwick, Saul.
You know, this girl here, she wants to get in the ring right away. Lou, I'm not going to let her ride in the ring. You know why? She'll get in that ring right now and kill somebody. That's how tough she is. I want to train her to wrestle scientific. I want her to beat somebody, but not to go out and kill him. And she's just that strong. I'm surprised at this woman, the strength she has.
Yes, Tussie, I would like to point out that there are some rules that we need to abide by, and just street fighting wouldn't be applicable for wrestling. But I'm sure that with Gentleman Saul's expert coaching, that you could learn to do your craft well, and I'm sure you would be a great addition to the wrestling game.
Would killing be permissible then?
Killing? Well, our lawmakers frown upon killing, but I'm sure that as competitive as you are, that you would create a tremendous amount of interest around the world, and you'll be successful. I have a lot of confidence in you.
Yes, I will.
Hello. The first thing I'm going to do is to go and issue a challenge to the woman wrestling champion of the world. That's fabulous Moolah. And if Moolah would give her 30 days to put her title up and wrestle Big Tussie, if she don't, we're just going to go and claim the title because Tussie would beat her. But I just want to show Tussie how not to kill her. Just go out there and win that match.
Our very illustrious commentator, Bob Hines, is here. Bob?
As a part newsman at the same time, let me step right in here beside the manager, okay, and talk to Tussie for just a second. I understand you've turned over a new leaf, that you're...
Yes, I have.
You consider yourself one of the good guys now?
Yes, I do.
You want to be one of the good people and
Yes.
work hard, make a lot of money,
Yes,
and
I do.
support yourself in that fashion?
Yes.
Have you turned to the church? Have you turned to...
Well, I've always have been a member of the church. I belong to St. Mark Missionary Baptist Church on 6th Avenue North. I'm also a gospel singer, but that don't mean that I'm not gonna whoop somebody when they run over me. So I've been fighting free. So now I decided to fight for some money.
I got you. You have been fighting free.
Yes, I have.
I want to ask you something. Is this guy Muhammad Ali? Is he in any trouble at all?
No, I would like to be just like him. I would like to be the lady wrestler, Muhammad Ali.
But you don't want to fight him?
No, he's my friend.
Okay, but if you had a fight, who'd win the fight?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it'd be a killing between me and him, but it won't happen that way.
Okay, but you're going in this with pure of heart?
Yes, I am.
And you're going in there and you want to make some money and you want to do the best
Yes, I
for
do.
UWA and for the wrestling in general?
Yes, for my children, too.
And it's not for any game?
No.
And it's strictly that you're going to work out and you're going to
Yes.
stick to it, because it takes a lot of training, as you know.
Yes, I know.
Well, obviously...
Well, I've been training, you know.
Well, listen, I'm not going to try any armholes or anything right
Well,
now.
you can.
No,
I mean-
it's okay.
Oh.
Thanks anyway.
You're welcome.
Lou, I know that you're very excited about having this young lady with you, and it sounds like she's serious about the whole thing, and there's some serious work involved in this.
Well, I've talked with Saul about it, and she is serious. I've talked with Tussie about it, and a lot of work is involved, Tussie. She doesn't seem to mind that at all, but the cry around the world constantly is, where is the new talent, the new wrestlers, the people that really want to do their homework and get in there and work out and spend the days and years in the gymnasium and do a good job? Tussie wants to do it.
Okay,
and I
Tussie,
think this is going to be just great.
I have one bit of bad news for you, Tussie. After fighting,
is
but after wrestling for about 20, 25 years, would you turn around and look at that face? That's what you're going to look like in 25 years.
No, no one's going to look that bad.
Does that concern you a little bit?
No.
No, that's all right.
Well, yes, that's all right. I'm not worried about it.
Okay, we'll be watching for future cards to catch you in there in the ring before too much longer. This is Big Tussie. You remember the name, and we'll be catching her in some of the upcoming matches. Thanks so much for being with us.
You're more than
And
welcome.
good luck
Thank
to
you.
Okay, we'll be right back to more UWA Wrestling after this time out.
Sure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, another great match in progress for us. This is going to be, Bob Hines is going to announce it. I'm really interested in this one. This should be the real topper.
Boy, it's easy to see that when these fellas mix it up over here, they're favorites with the crowd. They've been hollering at them ever since they came through the door during that commercial announcement, and they're about ready to go. We've got B.J. McElwee back in the ring with us, and let's start our introductions over here.
Just quit your jawing, ratchet jawing, and get on with the announcing.
Would you just step over there? Just step over there. Don't start that business. Costello, just keep this man and keep his hands off me. Don't touch the body. All right, all right. I've got my protectors.
You've got an announcing job to do. You do it and get out of the ring. I'm going to throw you out.
Okay, I've got the guys coming to my. Okay, Al Costello takes a blow. Okay, it looks like Tommy Seigler is after all of them. Okay, we got a dance going on over here. Let's start our introductions. Let's cool it here for just a second. I'm going to do it fast and get out of here. First of all, let's meet. Hold it just 1 second, guys. Let me do these introductions. Come on, let me do the introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, at 225 pounds from Puerto Rico, this is Don Serrano right here. And his partner in this tag team match at 230 pounds from Belton, South Carolina, Tommy Seigler, right over here. And with Kangaroo Al Costello right over here, and his two mates right here, if you will. I see Kangaroo Al is back with, what is
the epitome of the millennium, the greatest tag team this side of the black stump.
Okay, now wait a minute.
Those words are a little too far above you, so I'm going to bring it down. What he means is, we're the best tag team in wrestling, and we love to hurt people.
I got you, okay. Let me introduce these guys, not that they really need an introduction. First of all, from parts unknown at 260 pounds, the spoiler is right over there. And the quiet one at 255 pounds from Muleshoe, Texas, Cowboy Ray Parker right here.
Well, Al Costello is in there with some sort of a thing. It looks like a cattle prod. If he uses that, he's not only going to be disqualified, we will suspend him because that will not be tolerated in any way.
Boy, it's a good thing I never lose my cool. I'm going to tell you that right now, champ.
That Tommy Seigler will take care of himself in pretty good shape. And if Costello wants some knots on his head, all he needs to do is get in the ring, and I'm sure that Tommy would accommodate him. They will resort to anything, it appears, Bob, to gain an advantage.
Just a reminder to the fans that the rope is hanging in the fighters' tag team corners, and they are supposed to not leave more than the length of that rope. They walk along either side, but they should be hanging on. Don Serrano is hanging on to the rope in the far corner. The spoiler is not. And that is why BJ, the referee, charges him every now and then to move back in.
Well, they try to distract the attention of the referee, Bob, and then they can get into some illegal tactics, and that seems to be their plan. Wow, that Tommy's laying him in. Well, Tommy is a great athlete, but it's very difficult to combat a thing like.
Well, you get one man wrapping your arm around the ring, the other one wrapping you on that same shoulder, and
it's a little much to handle. Wow, by the hair. Serrano's in there, but the referee's pushing him out. BJ's got to get them out, of course.
And that gives Cowboy a chance to move right in.
Yes, he's in on an illegal tag. But, you know, refereeing a wrestling match, Bob, is like umpiring a baseball game in a hometown. There's no way you can win. You can even call them right and they're wrong, you know. Oh, boy, did you see that? Wow. Fantastic knee to the head, the face.
Oh, and he takes a poke of the spoiler on the way by.
Well, they're paying the price now. You know, in the singles, I think that Tommy would do very well against either of these fellows.
I agree with you very much. The man is in fantastic physical condition. He comes to wrestle, not talk.
Beautiful power, the bridge out.
And finally, Tommy gets some help from his partner.
And Serrano can move.
Very, very fast in that ring. Here comes Cowboy is coming into the ring. If Serrano sees him, he's going to be back after him, too.
Headstand. That's fantastic. Flying mirrored him with his feet. That's great. The Latins do a lot of things with wrestling that we don't. Mexican people, the Puerto Ricans.
Look at that respect Cowboy is showing to Serrano now.
BJ's calling the fist. He's right. You know, BJ has not been refereeing wrestling very, very long, Bob. I have never seen anyone progress as rapidly as he and pick it up like a sponge. He is our leading referee. He's very, very good and efficient. And a great athlete who can move in there. Well, here they are on Serrano now.
Okay, Kangaroo Al is on the side. See him up against the apron. He's got Don Serrano down. He's looking around. BJ, the referee, is busy with Cowboy. The spoiler and Tommy Seigler on the other side of the ring. And finally, Don Serrano gets away from that, whatever it is, that terrible weapon that Al is walking around with.
It's very difficult for good athletes to wrestle under these
Watch
circumstances.
this. Oh, and he just put it into the midsection of Don, and Don is all doubled over there. That was not a blow from one of the wrestlers. That was Al Costello that gave him a poke in the midsection. We have to call it as we see it over here,
He sure
champ.
did. He did it. And he's going to be reprimanded. That Parker weighs 255, and that Tommy brings him over with that headlock just like if he were a middleweight. Well, this team that Costello has developed are the roughest and the most devastating team that I have seen. They will do anything to damage, to hurt an opponent. Like Parker says, we like to hurt people, and they certainly go out there and do their best to do that. But you know, I saw him get hit at the National Guard Armory recently, and it split his head with a chair. It didn't slow him up one bit. He was in there just like a tiger, so he does have the intestinal fortitude.
Seen a lot of action out there in this. Pardon me, this match, we're at the 6-minute mark. The match slated for 15 minutes. Tommy Seigler does not have an awful lot of clothes on. All he's got are those trunks, and it looks every now and then like the spoiler and Cowboy are trying to get him away. And there is Kangaroo Al again, champ.
Well, Costello is completely out of line. We're just going to have to see that he is barred from ringside. I hesitate to stop the program, but he's going to have to be curbed. There's nothing we can do about it but curb him.
Don Serrano is getting the crowd with him over in the far corner. He's saying, come on, baby, come on, baby. He's trying to help out his partner, Tommy Seigler, as much as possible. Too far away, obviously, to get a tag right now, so that Don Serrano can get in there and help him out in any way.
And Parker has a claw on him. Where Costello injured him, he has the claw right on the abdomen. Oh, a kick right in the same area, right in the abdomen again.
The same spot where the claw is.
Threw him from
right
the ring.
Through the ropes, down onto the concrete base in the television studio where the fights are going on, and the Cowboy is on top of him. A knee to the shoulder.
Melee out of the ring. The ring action is just too much. That Parker and Spoiler and that Costello, they're just out of line completely.
BJ doing everything he can to get the fighters back into the ring, but Costello keeps it distracting his attention. And Costello himself is hurting his own men right now. And Costello got a little bit of what he deserved, as Tommy Seigler gave him a good one, and now he's on top of the Cowboy. And this Kangaroo Alley's got that whatever the hell it is.
Well, it's impossible to describe about the dastardly things that these people do. This is terrible. Back in the ring. And Serrano, backdrop on Serrano.
Stranglehold over here.
Spoiler backdropped in.
And the Kangaroo Alley again has now got Tommy Seigler's hair.
Now Costello with his...
And there has to be some type of an electrical charge in that, because
yes.
Seigler really did recoil when he was hit with that thing Kangaroo Alley's got. And it's one poke after another, closest to us in this corner. Okay, and there we are at the time limit. That's the time limit. Okay, and the referee has said that the match is a draw. We'll jump up there. We'll try and get those fellows over here and see what we can get.
Fine. The match is still in progress after the time limit. Al Costello is still using that cattle prod. Costello. You're going to be suspended. I'm not going to tolerate this sort of thing. Yes, you will be. We're not going to. I'll suspend you. You're not going to wrestle her.
You gotta go through. The match was over. The match was finished.
You're excused, gentlemen.
Okay, wait a minute now. Hold on just a second here. Don Serrano and Tommy Seigler are not willing to accept a draw. The referee, B.J. McElwee, has called it a draw. There's a battle going on now with a big argument between B.J. and the Cowboy, the Spoiler, and of course Al Costello. Hang on just a second, champ.
Tommy Seigler. Tommy.
Hold on. Now, before we go to this break, let me just talk here with B.J. for just a second.
The match is a draw.
The match is a draw. We got that. But you were after, just a moment there, you were after Al Costello.
Al Costello, because he was using illegal tactics, foreign objects. And I'm going to, next time it happens, he'll be disqualified as far as I'm concerned.
He'll be disqualified,
yes,
which means that both of his wrestlers will be disqualified at the same time.
That's true.
Okay, fine. I'll tell you what, we've got Tommy Seigler and we've got Don Serrano over here. Let's cut right back quickly over to Lou Thesz. Lou?
Well, Tommy, I'm very sorry about the situation tonight. That Costello and his cattle prod is going to go, and Parker and Costello and the Spoiler can leave town. I don't want wrestlers like this about me. Tommy?
Well, Lou, I don't have to tell you this. You know this better than anyone. A cattle prod does not belong in a wrestling ring, and neither does a man like that, and neither does a man like that or that. There's three men that don't belong in a wrestling ring. Something's got to be done about it, Lou. He's going to injure somebody permanently with stuff like the boomerang and a cattle prod. Something's got to be done about it.
Well, we removed the
Hold
boomerang.
on here, Tommy. Tommy, come over here if you will, Tom, between Lou and myself. Now, you got poked a couple of times in the midsection. Was there some type of an electrical shock or anything like that that you felt when you got that?
I certainly did. That's a cattle prod. You use that to hit cattle with, to make them move through a chute and to make them get in trucks. And cattle, they have thick skin, and if it shocks a cow, you know what it does to a man.
Right, we saw you recoil, and you really did start and take quite a start, and we knew it had to be very painful.
I don't know how much charge has got to it, but it's more than a man can stand. You can't stand there and take a charge like that.
Well, Tommy, I'm very sorry because I know you've devoted your life to wrestling and athletics, and to have to have people resort to things like that, and for you to have to tolerate this kind of a situation, all I can do is apologize. I'm very sorry for it. We'll try to rectify it.
Well, Lou, I want to ask you one thing before we go. You're the matchmaker. Get me a match with either one of those three. Just me and one man in the ring.
On a one-to-one basis is what you're on.
We talked about that while you were in the ring, and Bob and myself agreed that in the singles we think you would do very, very well, and I'll attempt to make that kind of a match without Costello at ringside.
I'll appreciate it if you'll do that for me.
Thank you very much.
Fine. I'll be there to watch it. Okay, it was called. Okay, it was called a draw once again, and as you well know, and so Tommy Seigler and Don Serrano, they'd like to get back at Parker and the spoiler again. We'll do a recap on today's wrestling show right after this quick time. I'll be right back with you. All right, at ringside, Bob Hines, along with the matchmaker and president of UWA, Lou Thesz, former champion. This has been quite a battle for me tonight, a little bit different. I saw the gals for the first time.
Yeah, I saw the girls for the first time, and the thing that I'm really very enthused about is the fight between Saul Weingeroff, and finally we're going to get Dr. Ken Ramey with a pair of gloves on his hands, and we're going to take care of him real good. Saul says he's going to knock him out.
That's Tuesday night over at the Armory, right?
Tuesday night at the Armory.
Okay, you'll be there, and we'll be back with you right time, same station, right here, 1 week from today. Hope you'll be with us. And I want to see what happens when Tommy Seigler gets either Parker or the spoiler together. That's going to be kind of interesting, too.
Sure will be, and thank you so much.
Okay, for Lou Thesz, Bob Hines, have a nice week, Bye-bye for now.